This is the Big O Show.
Yeah. Big O, we told you we ain't playing no games, man. It's just surely probably Pablo, Culture, Lord Productions.
Good morning, South Florida.
This is the Big O Show.
You're tuned into the Big O Show.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Judge, you tuned in to the hottest sports radio show with Orlando, a.k.a. the Big O. He covers all the South Florida teams, from the Dolphins to the Heat, well, you know what I mean. Monday to Friday, Probably Pablo in the Big O Show.
Oh, on the radio, the top's where we gonna go. Miami, that's the way we roll. Locked on the morning show, Big O. No one has a similar show. Talk sports, talk plays, talk live and direct. Because nobody do it better than Big O in the set. From sunrise, listen live, it's the best of the best. He's got the fans, got the heat, he's the best of the best. Big O, the only talking sports with a style. Break it a morning, it's Big O-N. Thank you for tuning in, keeping you glued in. Stay tuned, because right here's where the rumors in. Same place, because right here some of them begin. Simply call and just state your opinion. Real talk, sports talks, the Big O Show. Yeah, you love it, yeah, you like it, call him and let him know.
Culture, probably Pablo. Now introducing the man of the hour, Big O, a.k.a. Orlando also Gary. Yeah.
Time to rock. Time to roll. It's a beautiful Friday. Yes, sir. How y'all doing out there? I'm sorry I'm late. We are late because we were part of a very important meeting there. Sorry. I can't wait to reveal what we got going on. I really can't wait to reveal what we got going on. But eventually we will. It's coming soon. We'll tell you what's going on. And it's been, like I told you, I warned you about a week or two ago that my life would be getting really, really crazy. And it might alter what we do here on the podcast a bit. It might alter our times that we're on. We may not be on at the same time every day anymore. Well, no, actually, let me guarantee you, we will not be on anymore at this time in the very near future. It'll be a different time for the podcast. So if you're used to catching me at this time, it's things are going to change. And no, don't panic, don't go crazy. Wait till everything develops, and then you'll see. And it'll all make sense, and it'll all, come together, like Aerosmith says, that kind of stuff. So it'll all happen. Just give it a little time there. But anyway, hope you all are doing well on a beautiful Friday. Unfortunately, the Braves eliminated the Marlins last night. We'll see what happens with the Heat. Do they get eliminated tonight against the Lakers in Game 5 of the NBA Finals? We've got the Canes tomorrow taking on Clemson. My man Manny Navarro will be joining us at 12:30 to talk a little bit about that. At 1 o'clock, Michelle Kaufman will join us for Inter Miami talk, which Inter Miami takes on the Houston Dynamo tomorrow at 5 o'clock, actually. A little bit of a different start for Inter. So our pregame will start at 4:30. Which is good. And we've got a 888 number now, so we're going to take some phone calls now in the post-game shows. So if you guys want to join us there, I think it's 888-441-4623. Yeah. You call it right now, it'll just ring and ring. Nobody will answer, but yes, post-game show. So we got the number there. All right, I've already memorized it and everything. You know how I memorized it? It was easy. It's 888, and then it's 441. I mean, how the hell are you going to forget 441? Then the last four numbers, I did it in honor of Bill. 46, I went with Buddy Ryan's 46 defense. And then 23, obviously, Michael Jordan. So that's how I kind of remember the number, like, right away. Like, I mean, 888-441, I mean, shoot me if I forget that part. You know what I mean? But the 46-23, I had to kind of like tie it to something. What'd you think? Tying it to your 46 defense.
That's pretty cool. Thank you very much.
There you go.
I hope the Inter Miami team plays their defense as well as the 46 defense was for the Bears.
I hope the Dynamo know the rules as much as Brady does. That's all. You know.
Was that crazy or what?
That was ridiculous. I get. Let me tell you something. Okay, last night Bears beat the Bucs 20-19. Bears are now 4-1. Okay, even with those quarterbacks, they're 4-1.
It's an aberration.
It's still awesome. It's still an awesome thing to be 4-1 with those quarterbacks. But I get pissed at quarterbacks when they don't know the game clock, the 35-second game clock that you're waiting for per play and all that. Like when it gets to 0 and you didn't snap the ball, I get pissed at the quarterback for not knowing where the clock is at the moment and where you got to be set up and all that. Can you imagine downs? Are you out of your mind? I mean, and he looked at like, you know, we got a 4th down, like, no, you idiot. And then the worst part was he then pulls off what they do in politics. They ask him the question, and he doesn't even answer it. Okay? It's just crazy stuff, dude. And I get he was embarrassed, but just come out and say it already. We already know you screwed up. And Bruce Arians, you know, oh, yeah, no, he knew it was – get the hell out of here. He didn't know it was 4th down. He screwed up. Senior moment, Geritol moment, whatever the hell you want to call it. He had a moment. Happens to you, happens to me. It even happens to Bill sometimes. Okay? It happens to all of us. And you could be young, you could be middle-aged, or you could be an old fart. We're not perfect. Just come out and say, yeah, I know I screwed up. I thought there were 4 downs. I let my team down. Because he let him down. I'm not blaming anybody else but Tom Brady.
On a 4th down, they had the check down. They had Jones. It would have been close. You know, the linebacker was there, but I think he would have got the 1st down.
He thought he had another down, dude. That's what he thought. I got to say, man, that is some funny-ass shit.
Honestly, the possession before.
That was hilarious.
The possession before, when they only run 16 seconds off the clock.
Oh, yeah.
In those 3 plays. I was like, are you – I couldn't believe that happened. I was like, are you trying to hand us the win?
You're gifting them, yeah.
Because the enemy is, as much as the Bears, the clock. Kill the clock and you win the game.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm with you. There's no doubt. And while he ended up forgetting, you know, the 4th quarter, you know what ends up happening, right? Social media takes over. And so they've got, you know, the memes going. You know, the LeBron one about J.R. Smith. Remember that one?
Oh, when he got the rebound on the free throw and dribbled out.
Yeah, so they've got Bruce Arians, like, you know, like, and J.R. Smith is Brady.
Okay, so Bruce is playing the part of LeBron and J.R. Smith is Brady.
Yeah, and then they've got one. They've got one of Belichick, and he's just laughing, and it just says, "Oh, he lost track of the downs." Although didn't they do it also in the Patriot game this past week? Anyway. It says, not the first guy to move down to Florida after a long, great career and have a senior moment, and they show him. And they got Brady. Florida will do that to your brain. And then they have Brady like looking at the referee with the 4 up in the air. Another guy tweets out, the TB12 method doesn't teach you how to count. Okay? Dave Portnoy from Barstool. Does Tom have dementia? What did the Bucs do to my QB? You know? Let's see what else they put. Tom Brady had his Deadpool moment. I love it. Oh, man. And then they've got, like, Jordan holding up 4 fingers when he won his 4th title. That's just, I mean, the memes just started to just roll down. and all on behalf of Tom Brady because he deserved it, actually, because he did something really stupid. But it would be nice. Listen, I tell you all the time, when I'm wrong, I come out and say, I'm dead wrong about this. Why not? What am I going to sit here and act like I'm going to always be right about everything? One, that wouldn't be any fun, okay, because that would be kind of boring and obnoxious, okay? But you're going to be wrong about stuff. It's impossible to be right all the time.
It's called being human, bro. You're human.
And it's impossible to be, on target all the time. You're going to make mistakes. And Tom Brady had a brain fart, bro. That's all. Just admit that you had a brain fart. Pretty simple. But the Brady memes were good, I got to say. And the Bucs are now 3-2. And they have a tough game next week. I think they play Green Bay next week.
That is correct. They do.
And, wow, they could be 3-3. And so they'll be 500. We'll see how people are looking at it then for the Bucs. But, Bears, man, 4-1, dude. That is just freaking – I'll tell you this. Ronald Jones has arrived, man. Ronald Jones has arrived. 17 rushes yesterday, 106 yards. They drafted the kid, I believe, in the second round 2 years ago, and he hadn't turned the corner yet, and they were kind of worried about it. And now here in his second year, it looks like he's finally turning the corner here. Not finally, it's only his second year. But he has shown me a lot more this year than last year, and he had some really nice runs yesterday against a tough defense, made some people miss at times. I really like what I saw from him. Allen Robinson's another guy that, man, I admire the crap out of that guy. Coming back from the knee injury and all that, and no matter who the quarterback is, and he's played with some really crappy quarterbacks in Jacksonville and Chicago, he's a productive player no matter what, bro. Okay? Just think about the load of quarterbacks that guy's had in his two stops with Jacksonville and Chicago. He's not playing with Pro Bowlers. Okay? And somehow or another, Allen Robinson isn't he up for a contract? Isn't that like the deal with you guys,
That is one
right?
of the reasons why he, got rid of social media with the Bears. And, there's a little bantering back and forth that ain't going well.
No, I know. You can't. That guy's awesome.
He
sells out for you guys every week. I mean,
man, he's a baller, man.
He's a good player, man. I really like watching him play. Those were two players that Ronald Jones II and Allen Robinson were two guys that I was watching. I was doing a lot of work yesterday at the same time while I was watching the game. I'll admit, I wasn't as focused on the game as I normally am because I was doing a lot of other stuff that I had to get done. But yeah, I did watch it all the way to the end. Hell, I was up till almost 1 o'clock last night working. So it was a lot of fun, and it was funny to see Tom Brady, go through that moment, that brain fart moment. And it's like, is this really happening to this guy? Like, I expect Tua. I expect Justin Herbert.
Got a lot of stuff going on in his head, and to keep track of everything. This should be automatic, man.
I expect a young quarterback to do something like that. That it's not stupid. It's just, okay, you're a young quarterback, dude. You're learning. You got to figure everything out.
Everything's coming at you so fast to remember that, you lose track of something.
I see young quarterbacks all the time lose, you lose the game clock, and they don't know, how much seconds left on the down, and they snap it late, and they take 5 yards. And you're kind of used to that because, okay, it's a young quarterback. But like I just told you, a veteran quarterback, I get pissed when they allow that clock to get to zero. They didn't either call a timeout, they weren't prepared, or they let it go to zero and they take the penalty. I get livid with that. So you can imagine a Tom Brady not knowing that it's the fourth quarter with the game on the line. What the hell, dude? Come on, bro. You're Tom Brady. You got to know better than that, But it is what it is. What are you going to do? It looks, by the way, that Garoppolo is going to end up playing against the Miami Dolphins on Sunday. Ian from Brooklyn was first in the house. Ohio John is in. Julius 305, Gus 1388, Guillermo Arauz, Mauricio Ortega says, Big O, what's on the docket today, my brother? We are going to have some fun, bro. We're going to talk some sports. We'll talk to some folks. We'll have a good time. Big Rig is in. Big J doing big things. Says, I think we will beat the Niners since the Hawks game was so close. Niners don't have any receivers, just Kittle, LOL. No, but they did get Deebo Samuel back, bro. He played last week, and he'll be playing this week. Deebo Samuel is a load, so they do have receivers. They have a receiver along with Kittle. And Deebo Samuel, I know he's coming back from the foot injury, so maybe he's not himself yet, but normally he's a beast action there. Clifton Wellman is in. Gus is asking, no reveal today. Nope. You won't find out till late next week is when you'll find out. Okay? Late next week, we will let the cat out of the bag. Lewis Bryant says the ATL is checking in, Big O, ready to watch my Heat fight to the end tonight. And you know, Lewis, that's exactly what they're going to do. They will fight to the end. Mark McIntyre says, nice news, Big O. You should be a big scientist and big-time docs. Harvard, Oxford, Stanford, calling for the country to be open, create herd immunity. Now, that would be big as well. Yeah. Yeah, let's go herd immunity. Let's just kill millions in the process, and, let's all get used to COVID. Yeah, right. And are we sure that we'll all get used to it? Are we sure herd immunity will work? That's the other thing. Oh, you mean we killed millions and it didn't work? Yeah, I'm just not for casually allowing lives to die. Like that's how it is. We have 900 Americans dying every day, and we just don't. We look at it like nothing. Nothing. Yeah, it's only 900. It's 900 that didn't affect me, so I don't care. That's kind of the attitude. Alzheimer's kicking in on his old ass. I don't know, maybe. Let's not go. Let's not even hope for that. A couple of singer deaths the last 2 weeks that went under the radar the same day as EVH. Johnny Nash, I can see clearly now, and Mac Davis, and Helen Reddy. Yes. I am woman, hear me roll. Right? That's Helen Reddy, isn't it? Mac Davis.
I think you're correct with that.
Yeah, and of course it's Helen Reddy's other song is Delta Dawn. What's that flower you got on? And we have the Delta Hurricane.
What's that flower you have on?
You have on. Okay, there you go. And Mac Davis. Not that I listen too much to Mac Davis's music, but I will say this. North Dallas 40.
I was going to just say.
Will live on forever. Okay? North Dallas 40 will live on forever.
When he throws that pass at the end, right, on the steps.
Oh, yeah.
And Nick Nolte just puts it and lets it.
He says, gross. Gross is when you go kiss your grandpa to sleep and he sticks his tongue down your throat. That's gross. North Dallas 40. There's nothing like North Dallas 40, bro. So, yes, rest in peace, Mac Davis, because you know what? I think I haven't seen North Dallas 40 in a couple months. Maybe I'll watch it again.
Couple months?
Just a couple months.
You're doing better than me, bro. I haven't seen it in, woo.
Oh, no, I watch it all the time, bro.
A few years.
Oh, whenever I run into it, I find myself stopping and just watching.
See, that's the problem I haven't run into. I'm the same. That's one of those. There's those movies, when you run into it, you got to stop. At least for a time being,
Love North. And for you youngins out there, if you haven't seen North Dallas 40, you got to watch North Dallas 40, bro. Okay? That is awesome. Awesome. So, yes, rest in peace, Johnny Nash, Mac Davis, Helen Reddy. I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Big Rig says, like the Dolphins, your show is still developing. Congratulations, Big O and Bill, on your next step. You all deserve it. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Pat in Asheville, NFL making all players playing in Buffalo and San Francisco wear masks on the sidelines. Wrong cities, you think? They need to wear them everywhere, bro. That's all. James Roman is in, giving us a good morning. Ian from Brooklyn, Tremolio. Let's see. Rich V, Big O, big fellow Dolphins. Fins up. Let's get the W on Sunday. This is the week we turn it around. We find out what this team can do during the next 4 games. At least the next 2. San Fran and Kansas and not Kansas City. Denver. They got a really good shot at picking up 2 wins there. Let's hope so. Let's hope so. Anthony says, what chance do you give Jimmy Garoppolo of playing this week? I think he's playing 100%. He's playing. So expect him, Anthony. Steve D'Onofrio Jr. says Allen Robinson is a stud. I would love to see him in a Dolphin uniform. Rich V says we should have traded for Robinson. Hell yeah. Triana's in. Chase 1. Super Boom Shack says Tom Baby forgot to take his Geritol and Centrum. Chase 1 says Fiedler always knew when it was 4th down, brothers. That's right. Jay Fiedler, baby. Lewis Bryant, Khalil Mack is a beast. Did you see him judo flip Wirfs? That's a 300-plus pound man. He ragdolled, yeah. But I think we already knew that Khalil Mack is like one of the ultimate badasses on the planet, right? Drubu is in. Marta is in. Good morning, Marta. Don Parlamento. Love it. Willie Molina. Matthew says, anybody read about the 12 idiots planning to kidnap the governor? Yeah, I know. 12 Trumpies trying to kidnap the Democratic governor. It's like it's, you know. Listen, man, I voted for Reagan. I voted for Bush Sr. I voted for Bush Jr. Okay? I have voted for Republicans, and I have voted for Democrats. I would never vote for Trump. Okay? I am really proud that that is not on my resume, that I would never vote for that hateful human being. I mean, look at all the hate groups that surround that guy. And it's hate groups, bro. Flat out hate groups that support that guy. And he doesn't condemn them in any way, shape, or form. I've never seen that. Not with any Republican, not with any Democrat. I have never seen that in my life. I have never seen the crazy fanatical stuff that supports Trump, dude. Never seen it in my life. But not crazy fanatical and hateful. Because I got to throw in the hateful. Because all these, racist groups, dude, it's amazing. I've never seen it. Never seen it. Just shows you if this country is crazy enough to vote him in again, the next 4 years, what you're seeing now becomes 2 to 3 times worse, easily. It's bad, man. It's bad. Let's see. Glenn Campbell stole Mac Davis's wife. He did? Damn, Pooh. Did not know that. Pooh was Nick Nolte's nickname in North Dallas 40. I told you, I've watched that movie a lot. Like, a lot. Like, I know all the lines in that movie.
Isn't Matusak one of the players? I thought so.
Hell yeah, John Matusak is there.
Crazy Eye.
Yes. Let's see. Bromar says, just join. What's the big announcement? Oh, you'll find out next week, bro. Next week, my man. Mark says, I have the same illness that killed Glenn Fry at 67. I am invested in what is done as you, and we are all, this is hiding in a hole in decimating Fauci's promise, a vaccine for AIDS in the 80s. Huh? What? A vaccine. Fauci promised a vaccine for AIDS in the 80s? I don't know about that. Let's see. Raging Dolphin Maniac. By the way, Fauci has nothing to do with this disease. He's just an expert like everybody else, trying to figure it out and learning from it like everybody else every single day. So, I don't know what your anger is with Fauci, but he's not in China and spreading the disease and all of that, bro, So I'm not sure what the rage is for anybody against Dr. Fauci, who's not out to hurt anybody. He's trying to help people. And nobody's perfect. I think I just started the show with nobody's perfect. So I don't expect Fauci to be perfect. Let's see. What else do we have? Biden may not be the best candidate, but no, Biden's a terrible candidate, but it's anything is better than Trump. Okay, I would vote for any of you out there running against Trump. Any of you, I would vote for anything that runs against Trump. Anything, doesn't matter what it is. That's the difference. Oh, just had a cup of Bill's double caffeinated, half cap, super sugar, sweet and low coffee. And in my favorites, Bears, Dolphins, Chargers, Bills, 49ers mug. Oh, man, I love it. I love it.
Didn't even get to enjoy the game last night because, of course, the Yankees are in a playoff game. And
you won.
You know what,
it's
man?
It's a good game.
They played great. Montgomery got him 4. I'm surprised they used Chad Green as long as they did because they did 2 innings the night before, but he pulled out 2 innings. Britton did, and then, of course, Chapman with the final 4 outs. The bats woke up.
Way more entertaining than that football game.
Yeah, you know what? Because when I got done with that game, I went right in the room and just
Even as a fan, you have to admit, that was kind of a lame game.
I did it quick. I did it in 40 minutes.
Right? It was kind of a lame game.
It had very
the
few
Yankee game,
plays
the Yankee
that were
game was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was very few plays that were like, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Big O, if the Dolphins drop 2 in a row, do you think it will be time to put into a – oh, yeah. If they lose to San Fran and they lose to Denver, I could see them putting 2 in at that point. Yes. Because that means then Fitz hasn't been your problem, okay? But if he is your problem in the next 2 games, then, yeah, I could see that for sure. If you vote for another 4 years, you should get voting rights revoked. Oh, okay. I see. If you vote for Orange Man, I got you. Let's see. What else do we have here? Big O's big announcement. I'm back, bitches, on QAM. Bro, hey, Bromar, I put my life on it, okay? I will never go back to QAM. Never. I will never do sports talk radio for an AM corporation ever again. The only thing that I might try is FM DJ, rock DJ. Okay, that's the only thing, and that's dying too. That's the only thing that I would go back to terrestrial radio a little bit for. So the announcement that's coming is awesome, but it's not about terrestrial radio. Terrestrial radio is a cancer. It's a terrible business. It treats people like absolute crap, okay, because that's what Intercom does. They treat people like crap. It started with CBS Radio when they bought it off Beasley. Beasley Broadcasting is fantastic. I can't say anything bad ever about Beasley. And let me tell you something. When I left Beasley to go to 640, we had a little tiff there between the date I left and the date to start on 640 because of a non-compete. I had a short window, but we were still arguing over a couple of weeks. But having said all that, they were super classy about it. Beasley treated me like gold. I freaking love them, man. Okay? I don't know how the company is now because I haven't worked for them in years. But Beasley Broadcasting for me was absolutely awesome. I loved working for Greg Reed. Jim Hilliard for James Crystal. They went into some bad times when I went over to 640. But Jim was a stand-up human being and a man. And even through all the chaos and the Chapter 11 that they had to file and all that, the dude was like brutally honest with me, told me everything that was going to happen, was happening, guaranteed me everything that he promised me and everything, and he lived through it. And I thought overall he handled a really tough situation, really classy. There are some good companies out there, but they are dying because of all these major corporations that have just gobbled up all these stations. And they have ruined it. I mean, QAM's garbage now, dude. They just have Joe. They don't have any live shows. The Hawk show's from 790. That's it. And all those people there broadcast like they got to broadcast on, standing on eggshells. They got to watch what they say and all that because they got a pussy-ass director there that has no balls whatsoever and caves in to everything because they have the teams. It's a joke, dude. I would never, okay, never go back to QAM. Never. Not QAM. I wouldn't go to 790. I wouldn't work for, you could pay me whatever you want. I wouldn't work for Intercom. Now, they don't even have money anyway, but still, I would never work for that garbage organization. Broke-ass fools. Don't even know how to run a damn business.
Tell us how you really feel.
I mean, seriously, bro. But I don't worry about that. You know why? Because I got options, dude. I don't need to kiss, some radio station's ass or anything like that. People that know me know that I'll work my ass off, and everybody, I've always gotten along with all my bosses. All of them. Okay? The only ones were these, idiots that they've got there now. But that's because guys like Len and that other chick that they got to run the place, they couldn't find their assholes with a funnel. You know what I mean? It just, brother, when you're firing people that are, hardworking and bring money to the table and produce, you don't know what the hell you're doing. That's all. So, no. Long story short, QAM, 790, Intercom, they can kiss my ass. I would never work for those scumbags ever again. Okay? You can mark it down. You can save the recording. You can replay it for all the losers over there that are at the top at Intercom, all that. Never work for those losers again. Kidding me? I got way too much pride and way too much cojones to be working. And that's the other thing. I don't broadcast scared, bro. I don't get behind the mic and worry about what I got to say. And no, I can't say this about the Dolphins because we're with the Dolphins, and this about the Heat, and that about the Panthers, and no, kiss my ass. That's not sports radio. That's not how I grew up. I grew up in this business with Greg Reed, with what's it called, Josh Darrow running the show. I mean, guys that never told me you can't say fire this guy. You can't say that coach can't do the job. Nothing. Man, I used to be the beat guy with the Dolphins, and I'd do shows, and some of the coaches would hear the shows, and some of the players would hear the shows. And then, I'd have to run into them in the locker rooms and all that stuff. So I'm used to that, bro. That's the kind of radio I grew up with Hank Goldberg, with Ed Kaplan. I grew up with people that were allowed to actually say what's on their minds, because that's what sports talk was all about.
Oh, isn't that one of the reasons they say the thoughts and ideas expressed by blah, blah, blah isn't exactly represent,
Right.
It's a separate, this is this guy's.
That's it.
And then they're going to turn around and curtail you. What the hell is that?
No, not doing that. I told you guys the story already of wimpy-ass Len. He brought me into the studios and told me, he brought me into his office. Hey, why are you picking on Whiteside? Why are you calling him a knucklehead? That's I got brought into a meeting because I called Whiteside a knucklehead. Okay? The guy leaves a semi-automatic rifle in his car unlocked to get stolen, and I call him a moron for that, and I get ripped for it by my boss. A boss that told me, no, you shouldn't be saying that. I told him, well, too bad. I told him straight up like that. I knew he was firing me already. So I was like, no, man, too bad. So I just wanted to kind of give him a little bit more of, here you go, bro. Here. You think you're going to play that game with me? You're not playing that game with me. You know? So that's, when it comes to terrestrial radio, that's what I say to terrestrial radio. Don Parlamento, thank you, sir. Chiming in on a little super chat. Don says, hell no to terrestrial radio. Damn right, dude. Damn right. No way to terrestrial radio. And thank you, sir. I appreciate you. Myron follows up with another super chat here to start off on a Friday. Says, hey, Josh, go Niners. Don't forget the bet, plus go Lakers. Black Mamba is on the bubble since day one. Ask the Clippers. There you go. Carlos says, love seeing Brady and those overrated Bucs lose to the Bears. Bears have a great D, need pass rushers like that for the Fins. Yeah, but you got to trade like 700 picks to go get that guy. Now, they'll get him. They'll draft these guys now. No, look, we have to be patient. I know I tell you guys this all the time, and it's hard because you've watched the Dolphins suck for 20-plus years, that they have been a joke. But we only judge these guys starting from last year and now this season. They've got all these picks. They're building from inside out, as you've noticed. They look at all their pass rushers that they got. They're not here for a long time. Kyle Van Noy is on a 4-year deal. That's really a 2-year deal with an option to get out of it. So I don't know if he ever sees the 3rd year. Agba signed a 2-year deal. Minimal. It's a nothing salary. Lawson, short-term deal also. They can get right out of it because what I think they're going to do is they're going to go after pass-rushing defensive ends now in this next draft and in the following draft. And they're going to try to hit on those kind of guys. Now, remember, Raekwon Davis is supposed to be one of those guys. Wilkins is supposed to be one of those guys. So I wouldn't be surprised if they get that outside pass-rushing linebacker in this upcoming draft. And thanks to the Houston Texans, we will have a very high pick there along with ours, and you're going to have an opportunity at hopefully getting one pass rusher out of those two. So I think that's what you're going to see, where they get to develop their own. But I don't think they want to go out and spend, go trade 2 first-rounders and also spend $20 million a year on a pass rusher. I don't think they're going to do that. I don't think they want to do that. I think they want to draft from within. That's why I keep telling, it's funny when I hear people talk about the pass rushers, like they're expecting 87 sacks from this team, and it's like, wait a minute, dude, they did not sign 3-4 guys to get 15, 20 sacks. They signed a bunch of guys that average 5, 6, 7 sacks. It's what they are. They're rotational pass rushers, and that's what they got. They got several guys so they can, and then,
it's the committee deal.
Right. But then it's the committee deal along with Raekwon Davis, with Wilkins, with my boy, the linebacker that I like.
Van Noy?
No. I'm talking about the young guys now. Our guy, Van Ginkel.
Oh, Van Ginkel. Yes.
Guys like that. Jason Strobridge has not played yet. That's another guy that's going to get in the mix. So it's a way of using the situational guys or the rotational guys along with your young guys and mix that all in. And then eventually they will make the investment on all of that. I'm telling you, but it's a process. And I know people sometimes hate to hear that, but that's kind of what it is.
Those edge rush guys, man, you're talking 2 1s, a 2 or a 3, and $22, $24 million now.
Right.
Like, man,
right.
You go there, that better be the only guy you need.
Right. Yeah, no, when you go there, if the Dolphins ever do that, I guarantee you it's because they're that guy away from the Super Bowl. So it's like year 3 or 4 of the rebuild, and you're kind of almost complete, but you need that one extra guy, shutdown corner, pass rusher, tackle, guard, whatever it is, number 1 receiver. whatever, and you go, okay, let's go trade for that guy so we can get over the hump. And that's the only way they're going to do it. They're not going to do it the way, other teams may invest, or like the Dolphins used to do. They're not going to do things like that. That's what's changed. That's why I keep saying, got to have a little patience, man. It'll all work out. I promise you. All right, 786-322-1105. Hey, let me give you my picks in the NBA. We have been absolutely red hot in the NBA. And, look, I'm not hoping that this is the last game of the year. So we're playing with house money, right? We're 42-27-2. We're 15 games above 500. I'm going to go a little crazy tonight. I got 3 bets tonight. 3 bets.
Let me ask, man, with your percentage where it's at, why are you rolling the dice like that?
Because I feel good about it.
Okay. Hey, man, dude, if you feel good about it, go for it.
Last night.
I just thought you're playing with house money so you could get out there a little further,
Last night, I nailed the football game. It was a 4-point spread. I said, man, I can't decide between either team. I think I'm going to be going crazy with the spread the entire night. If you work that spread, you were going crazy with that spread the entire night.
Well, remember I said to do the 6-point teaser.
Yeah.
And do the under and take the Bears.
Right.
And you would have won.
Right. Now, so tonight, you got the Lakers -7. The over and under is 216. Okay. I like the Heat +7. I think the Heat are going to fight, scratch, and claw that even if they lose tonight, they'll lose within the number. And if they win, well, then, obviously. I gave you, I think, what I believe is kind of the secret. If you're going to use Bam, it'll be more of a defensive game. The under will be in play unless they go into overtime, and then you're screwed. But right now, the over and under is 216. I'm going to go under. With Bam playing, I'm expecting a defensive game. I'm expecting the teams to actually be a little tight because one, the Lakers are going to want to kill the Heat and eliminate them, and I think they're not going to come out as sharp because they're going to be wanting it so badly. And then the Heat, I think, will be playing some great defense, and they'll be fighting, scratching and clawing, and I think they'll keep it close. So I'm going to go under 216. My third bet in this game, if you can get it, all right, the first half, the Lakers are favored by 4.5 points. Take the Heat. I think the Heat are going to come out firing. I think Duncan Robinson and Tyler Hero are going to wake up tonight, and I think they're going to be leading at halftime. So Lakers are favored by 4.5. I'm going Heat +7 for the game. I'm going Heat +4.5 for the half, and I'm going under 216. Those are the 3 selections tonight in the NBA slate.
I like it. I like it.
You like it?
Yeah. Look.
Makes sense?
Ever since the Heat got in the bubble, man, because we know the little over 500 last 40 games, whatever it was, and having the problems with on the road stuff. Ever since they got in the bubble, man, when they need a win, these guys have risen to the occasion.
Yeah.
And I don't expect anything less tonight. I think we win that game. We give that same effort we did in Game 3.
Yeah. Herman says, I think Van Noy is going to get better. He's a badass. Remember, Kyle is playing with an injured hand. I'm with you, man. No, I like Van Noy too, but Van Noy is not a 10-15 sack guy. I like him as a player, yes, but he'll help you all over the place. That's where Van Noy is, important because he's a smart player, and he'll help you in the run game. He'll help you in pass rush. He'll help you in coverage. He'll just help you with experience. You know what I mean? I just think this is a guy that helps you everywhere. I'm a Van Noy fan. I got no problem with that. Let's see. What else do we have? Vince Bigo is going to be back. He finished very good last season. Yeah, but I don't think he's back this season. I think Vince Bigo's out for the year, if I'm correct. I got to look at it. But yeah, that would be nice. Bigo would be a nice addition right now if they could have kept him healthy. We do want to remind you that we are out here at Craig Zinn's, Acura of Pembroke Pines, baby. They, of course, have got it going on for you. That's why you want to get on down here and take advantage because they've always got some great deals. We broadcast on the side where all the certified pre-owned vehicles are at, and they look like they're absolutely brand new, folks. That's why I tell you all the time, and right now you can get 0.99% financing. As low as that, you can get the 2020 ILX for $199 a month, the 2020 TLX for $259 a month, folks. This is the number one volume sales dealership in Acura in the Southeast United States now for the last 10 years. That's right. Now you could get the RDX 2021 for $339 a month. Yes, the RDX 2021 is in, and you can get it for $339 a month. Only $29.99 do it signing, plus tax tag and registration, folks. So tell them that Big O sent you. I promise that they're going to take care of you. Military veterans, $750 off. If you serve for the military, come on down here. We're going to take care of you at 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 in Pines. Tell them that Big O sent you. They'll take care of you. And that is Craig Zins, Acura of Pembroke Pines. When we come back, Manny Navarro from The Athletic is going to join us. We're going to talk a little Canes and Clemson next. Hey, it's Big O. For all of your CBD, THC, or hookah needs, you got to get on down to VSS West Pines at 12397 Pembroke Road. Yes, they have got legal THC. You've got to check it out. And they've got, of course, when it comes to CBD, flower, tinctures, edibles, for all kinds of reasons, whether it's pain, stress, anxiety, you name it. And don't forget, when you mention my name, you'll get 20% off. Tell the boys out there that I told you to get on down to VSS West Pines, 12397 Pembroke Road, and call them 954-613-3367. Legal THC, CBD, all of your hookah needs. You go to VSS West Pines.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com. A travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
Hey, it's Big O for EJD Construction. Listen, I've been telling you about Eric for a long time now. Custom home builder for additions, home remodeling. We're not talking about a handyman. Maybe you want to redo that man cave. We're not going to a lot of live sporting events. So you want to improve that experience in your man cave? Call them 305-433-4843. Tell them that Big O sent you, and go to the Instagram page. You can see the before and after there. You'll be impressed. EJD_construction. Call them 305-433-4843 or go to the website ejdconstruction.com.
America's premium sports sedan is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. TLX $259 a month, $259 at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
All right, we ready to rock. We promised you that we would talk to Manny Navarro from The Athletic. We got a big game tomorrow, big test for the Canes. It's a nice measuring stick to see where they're at as they take on Clemson. And obviously Clemson, #1 in the country, is Miami, #7. Will they play like a #7? And let's talk to the #1, and that is, of course, Manny Navarro. You can follow him on Twitter like I and so many others do, Manny_Navarro. You can also catch his work there at the Athletic website, Manny, good afternoon, my friend. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. How are you doing, Al?
I can't complain, my brother. We're out here at Craig's Inn having some fun, getting ready for a nice weekend since we got a bunch of things. Starting with the Heat tonight. Then I got I got Inter tomorrow at 5, and then we got the Canes at 7:30. So looking forward to that. All right, my brother. So when as a pregame type of preview thing, how far are the Canes from Clemson in your eyes going into this game?
Well, obviously these guys have been playing at another level, on another planet for the last few years. And, Miami's finally beginning to look like the offense that you want them to look like. That said, you can't just sort of throw out the window the fact that Clemson's played in a lot of these big games and Miami hasn't. I wrote in my story today, I think there's only about 5 or 6 players on Miami's roster who were part of that ACC championship game a few years ago against Clemson when Miami lost 38-3, and only a couple of them actually played in the game. So, meanwhile, Clemson's obviously gone on to play in the national championship, to play in the college football playoff, and I know everybody says, well, they've only got 8, 9, 10 starters back from that team last year that lost to LSU, but there were a lot of guys that experienced that entire run, that were part of the team, that were playing, that were on the field in those games. And just because they weren't starting doesn't mean anything. I think, when you've played in those moments, you don't get nervous. You feel there's a level of confidence. I think Clemson has that confidence. Miami has to earn that confidence by going out and playing like an elite team. And as much as they have looked good so far, I'd have to give Clemson the edge. I mean, it only makes sense. Those guys have the best quarterback in college football, probably the best running back in college football, and a coaching staff that knows how to win these games rather easily.
Yeah, and that's what I fear right now, is that in a way we haven't really gotten a good measuring stick, because really Miami hasn't played anybody yet that can really test them like these guys. If there was somebody like that, maybe I could feel a little bit better. That's why I'm kind of nervous with this one, because I really don't know what I'm going to see from Miami against elite competition.
Yeah, and, look, Louisville had a really good offense with their outside zone scheme and their running back. And I thought, Miami gave up a lot of points to those guys. They didn't look very good defensively. And, that's my bigger concern going into this game. It's really the defense. It's not so much the offense for Miami. I think Rhett Lassie's going to find ways to put points on the board. I think he's got the running backs and the tight ends that can certainly match up with Clemson. I'm not so sure about the receivers. But, he's got enough weapons with Derek King. I mean, Derek King's played in some big games over his years. He's not a nervous 23-year-old, 50-year senior. He's a guy who obviously knows what he wants to accomplish. He's motivated and focused. But defensively, I think you look at the linebacker position, and, Blake Baker talked about it this week, Miami's defensive coordinator, and he said it in a nice way. Yeah, they've shown some inexperience. And I think, Bradley Jennings Jr. was coming back from an injury, Zach McLeod. Those guys at times have been out of place when quarterbacks have either decided to scramble, like Florida State did a couple weeks ago, or against that outside zone scheme. They just didn't get to where they needed to be, and so you saw Louisville, run off some chunk yards. This is going to be an upgraded challenge this week with Trevor Lawrence throwing the football and then Etienne running it. I mean, Clemson can run the football. I know they've only got one starting offensive lineman back in their left tackle, but those dudes were highly recruited. The guys that have replaced some of those starters, they were guys that are talented. And, as good as Miami's defensive line, I think, is, and they have a really good depth at that position, I still think you're asking a lot of these linebackers to help in coverage and stop Travis at the end in the run game, and then also keep an eye open for when Trevor Lawrence decides to take off and run. So this is as tough a defensive assignment as they'll face, and I'm worried for Miami's sake. There's just not enough there at linebacker right now to feel confident going into this game.
Yeah, Etienne is averaging 6 yards a carry and 19 yards in the air.
Mm-hmm.
He would look really good in a Dolphin uniform, by the way.
Yeah, I think, I mean, they have so much talent, man. Amari Rodgers is an experienced receiver. You know, their tight end was out for most of last year. He's back now. He's a good player. You know, receivers are young, but they're all 4- and 5-star guys.
Well,
they're all
the
Ladson
kid's from Miami, right? The Ladson kid is from Miami, isn't he?
Yeah, he's from Miami. He was the top recruit in his class down here. I mean, they've got a lot of talent all over the field. You know, I think there are some spots in their defense, particularly having to replace a guy like Isaiah Simmons, who was one of the best players, if not the best defensive player in college football last year. That hasn't been easy for them, but they still got oodles of talent up front, man. You know, freshmen guys that you know are going to be in the NFL in a few years, and they're getting one of their defensive tackles back this week who had been out. What's his face? Tyler Davis. He started 13 games for him last year at D tackle, and he's coming back for this game, so they're going to have more depth in that defensive line. I mean, this is a challenge, man, but hey, you know what? Miami's got a shot. If they show up and they play right, and let's say Clemson underestimates them a little bit, and they say, we beat these guys 38-3 a few years ago, I think it could lead Miami to a big upset. There's no doubt.
Manny, it is, you know, they've missed on a couple of those downfield throws. They haven't necessarily been on target. I almost feel like it's a must to be able to hit on one or two of them in this game because you're going to need some big-time chunk plays against a team like this.
I agree. You know, you look at Derek King, he's 4 of 17 on throws 20 yards downfield or longer, and he threw a touchdown pass to DJ Ivey in this last game, you know, for 40 yards, and it was kind of like a thank God moment. You know, you could see it on Derek's face. He was relieved, like I finally was able to connect with one of these guys. Clemson secondary, I mean, they've still got a very good cover corner back from last year's team who started a bunch of games. Darian Kendrick, number 1, and then you saw that interception that Andrew Booth had. He's a former 5-star guy, a ridiculous one-handed interception against Virginia. They've got guys who can cover. I think safety is the one area where they're lacking experience, where maybe that's where a guy like Brevin Jordan, a guy like Will Mallory in the middle of the field can expose them a little bit. But I think on the outside, they've certainly got talented, speedy guys who can keep up with these Miami receivers who have been very underwhelming, I think, to this point.
All right, so what is the percentage on them winning this game in your eyes?
30.
Okay.
I'd give them a 30% chance. I think, look, it can always happen. It's not impossible. Miami isn't going into this game completely outclassed, and there's no way that they're going to win. I could definitely see a scenario where the defense shows up and punches Clemson in the mouth, and suddenly you're in a ball game, and Derek King has a chance to win it. I mean, the other teams have had that opportunity. North Carolina did it to them last year. They lost 21-20 at home to Clemson. Pittsburgh pulled off the road upset at Clemson a few years back. Syracuse has beaten this team. They played them close in other games. So, to me, if Miami's coaching staff comes up with a way to really, I guess, frustrate Trevor Lawrence, which hasn't happened very often, but to make things a little bit more difficult than they usually are, then they've got a chance. They've just got to keep. I think if you can keep it in the 30s, you got a chance. If it gets into the 40s, I'm not sure. I think Trevor Lawrence and company are gonna just outscore you because they've got so many weapons and they've got the best quarterback in college football.
Well, he's got 7 touchdowns, no interceptions. He's completing 73% of his passes. How does Miami disrupt that? How do they make him? How do they force him into a turnover? How do they frustrate Trevor Lawrence? What does the UM defense?
It's a combination thing.
That secondary, I don't trust as it is. So how do you get a little fancy with the guys up front when you can't trust the guys in the back end?
Yeah, well, here's what I'll tell you. Against the blitz, it doesn't work. Okay, this guy completes 63% of his passes. He's got 28 touchdowns and 1 interception when they brought the blitz. That's all time in college right now. When he is under pressure, though, when you actually get somebody to him, he's only completing 45% of his passes. Still 16 touchdowns and 2 picks, but the percentage goes down significantly. Obviously, it's going to be about the front four, and then how well do you cover? How well do the guys in the secondary get to affecting those receivers trying to come down with the ball. How much of a cushion, does Miami sort of allow them underneath to protect against the deep ball? This is the kind of game where, look, LSU last year, when LSU beat them, they had 3 guys in the secondary who were drafted, and another guy, a freshman All-American, who's probably the best defensive back in the country in Stingley. So Miami doesn't have that kind of elite cornerback talent. Al Blade just played well. But beyond Al, I think DJ Ivey to Corey Couch, those are all guys that, aren't on the level of the guys that LSU had last year. So I think the way you do it is by creating pressure up front with Jalen Phillips, with Vanessa Silvera up the middle. If Nessa can bring that heat quickly up the gut, maybe that's one way that Miami stands to really get into Trevor's face and to cause him to have a little bit of trouble. But you're right, man. He's got 11 straight games without throwing an interception, 314 passes. They don't make very many mistakes. And even when they do, I wrote this in my story today, even when they have more than one turnover, they're still 15-1 since Trevor Lawrence has been around. Even when they make mistakes, they still win. And that's because they're so good everywhere else.
It's crazy stuff, man. Follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. Manny, one more thing before I let you go. Injury-wise, how are the Canes going into this game? Pretty good?
Yeah, I haven't heard any reports. Nobody's reached out to me to say, "Hey, this guy didn't get on the plane." I think right now everybody practiced this week, and it's my understanding that they were all going to make the trip. I don't know if there's been any sort of last-minute, failed COVID test or contact tracing type issues, but as far as we know, this should be a really healthy and full Miami team this week.
All right, so folks need to subscribe over to The Athletic so they can follow you, Manny, and get all the coverage. What are you working on The Athletic to get people prepared for the Clemson-Miami game?
Well, I just put out another article this morning looking at the history. What Clemson's accomplished, by the way, 81 consecutive weeks they've been in the AP Top 10 poll. Miami actually owns the all-time record. Okay, you talk about dominance and long-term dominance. Miami did it for 137 weeks from 1985 to 1993. But the fact that Clemson's closing in on that now with 81 weeks and they're third all-time is kind of impressive to me. It just shows you what kind of run these guys are really on. So I have an article on that. I have an article breaking down kind of Derek King and what he's doing as far as a runner and what kind of a threat that can present to Clemson this weekend. Also have a podcast that I did with Chris Felica, the Bears. They know him from College Game Day. Talked to him all about this game and some gambling angles and so forth. So there's a lot to read, a lot to listen to over at theathletic.com, man.
All right, I like it. Except that 14-point spread, bro. I'm staying away from that thing, bro. That's a lot of points, man. That's a lot of points. I don't know if I can trust the Canes to keep it within those points, too. That's the scary part of it all. Follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro and catch his work there at The Athletic. Like I subscribe, you should subscribe. Great coverage locally and great coverage nationally. Manny, as always, thank you for taking some time, man. You're a stud.
Thank you, brother. Take care.
You got it. The great Manny Navarro. That game, Clemson's favored by 14. All right, look, let's take a look at the games this weekend. All right, Miami is now trailing Clemson by 14 points in the point spread right now, okay? Clemson favored by 14. The over and under is 62.5. The money line, Miami is plus 425. Clemson is minus 575. Clemson's 3-0, 2-0 in the ACC. So is Miami. Same thing, 3-0, 2-0 in the ACC. Florida is taking on Texas A&M. Florida's the 4th-ranked team in the country. Texas A&M is 21. The Gators are favored by 7. The over and under is 58.5. Texas A&M is plus 195 in the money line, and Florida is minus 245 in the money line. At 7:30, at the same time as the UM game is going on, FSU is taking on Notre Dame, okay, on NBC, of course, and Notre Dame is favored by 21 points against FSU. The over and under is 52.5. Notre Dame Listen to this, Bill. Notre Dame is favored in the money line, minus 1,280.
Wow. That man.
FSU is plus 820. I know what you're saying. Man, I'll throw 100. I'll win 820. You're right, but, bro, FSU has no shot winning this game. You're giving away the 100.
A snowball's chance in hell of winning that. You're like, no.
Now, and there's a blazing fire, so the snowball has no chance. Sorry. It's over. I saw that today. It's like, okay, because Clemson's minus 575, and UM is plus 425. That's pretty strong numbers there. Like, Vegas thinks Miami has no shot when you're plus 425, but you're plus 820? And Notre Dame is minus 1,280? Are you kidding me? That's some crazy ass spreads this weekend in
What'd you
college
say,
football.
it's 21?
21.
You know what? Honestly, bro, that might be low.
I know.
I'm just.
No, I know. It's ridiculous. Yeah, it's crazy. I know. FSU is like, I mean, they're 1-2, 0-2 in the ACC. They're terrible, and they're going to lose this game. Guaranteed they'll lose this game. I saw the numbers, and I was like, wow, this is amazing numbers. And no, I'm not making any picks there at all. I'm not touching any. Although I will tell you this, I could see the over 52.5 on the FSU Notre Dame game. I could see FSU scoring about 10 to 14 points, and Notre Dame easily scoring 40. I could see that. That's the one thing that I saw in that number that I said, you know, the over's not bad in this one, because Notre Dame's going to score a lot of points. They're going to get turnovers and all of that. Let's see. What do we have here? Think Smith and Chase are more NFL ready than him, so maybe they're going before. Okay, you guys are. Man of 1,005 Holes likes the interview with Manny. Thank you, sir. What else do we have? Austin Jackson on IR. It sucks, man. It sucks. That doesn't mean he's out for the year. Maybe he's out only for a couple of weeks. So, hopefully he can come back and finish. Because when you go on the IR this year, doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be on the IR the entire year. Okay? And let's see. Austin Jackson out indefinitely. And Beasley says that may have factored in the decision to stick with Fitzpatrick over Tua. I don't believe that. I disagree with Beasley on that. I don't think they were ever going to go to Tua this week at all. I think they may be talking about it and saying, all right, let's assess what goes on in the next couple weeks, and then we'll get the kid in there, is what's going to happen. Dolphins have promoted running back Salvon Ahmed to the active roster and placed Austin Jackson on the injured reserve. Okay? Flores says they are looking for a long-term replacement at left tackle, given Austin Jackson will be gone at least 3 weeks, possibly longer. No word on whether Jackson will return this season, but he's eligible to after 3 weeks with new IR rules. Okay? So there you go. Ahmad Salvan, by the way, played with Myles Gaskins at the University of Washington. Do we have I doubt we have the press conference. I doubt it's up yet, but check it out and see if we have the press conference. At 1, we'll talk to Michelle Kaufman from the Miami Herald, and we'll talk a little Inter with her.
They haven't put up anything for a while, brother.
Cameron says Shaq Lawson and Durham Smythe will be out Sunday versus the Niners. Okay? So not only are they out with those guys, not out only with Austin Jackson, but they'll be out with Lawson and Durham Smythe. And let me tell you something. We have not been able to see the other youngster. So why not? Let's see what the other kids got. And, if they want to play, what's it called now? Now I'm brain farting with, what's it called? the left tackle that backs up Austin Jackson now. Damn it, Julian Davenport. If they want to go with Julian Davenport, then that's fine. But I personally would like to see Robert Hunt in there. So give him a little opportunity to see what you got in the young guy. But again, maybe Julian Davenport is ready to play at a higher level because he's one of those guys that goes like this, you know. And it all depends with Julian. And that's a kid that he's got a lot of talent. You can tell why they wanted him, why they keep him around while they're trying to coach him up. Because when you look at Julian Davenport, he has the talent to play left tackle. But I don't know. I'd love to see Hunt also get in there, man. It would be awesome. Time to put Jesse Davis at left tackle. What Hunt can do at right tackle. I don't know if I don't know if I want Jesse at left. I think I might want to try Robert Hunt, who might be a better athlete than Jesse Davis. And he's definitely big enough, too, because Robert is 6'5". So there's a big dude, and he can play left tackle also. Yeah. So it's sad that Austin got banged up, but now you've got some depth on the offensive line, and hopefully you'll get to display that depth this week against the San Francisco 49ers. That would actually make us feel pretty good, right? You think about it. If Austin Jackson goes down now and you're able to get somebody else to play and you play well and you're able to move on, then all of a sudden you start to feel a lot better about this team, man. You know, you start to feel better about the decisions made. And I think eventually as more players have success, I think the trust factor will grow. Because there's a lot of you out there that don't have a lot of trust in the Miami Dolphins. And I get it. 20-something years of just ineptitude. You have been programmed to say, well, the other shoe's going to drop. They're going to screw it up. They'll make the bad pick. They'll sign the wrong person. They'll coach the wrong way. You, expect it to happen. But as the Myles Gaskins of the world have success, as Isaiah Ford grows, as you watch Austin Jackson and Solomon Kinley, 2 draft picks, have success right away. And if they play Robert Hunt and he plays well also, all of these things will start to erase and ease your concerns. Right? Because it's not normal in your mind that the Dolphins continue to make good picks or good trades. You know what I mean? And so now, as it starts to develop, as players start to develop, as the team starts to develop and have success, that's the only way we're going to get a lot of you out there to kind of feel the way I do, that I'm all in with these guys. I like what I see. I believe in these guys, but I get it. Some of you need more and more proof, and that's super understandable.
I'll just say that with the years and years of torment, man, you know as well as I do, bro, better bring a big-ass eraser, man.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot to erase.
Yeah, no doubt. Hey, did you guys see that Shaq posted a story about him voting? I don't know if you guys saw this, but it was actually Shaq's first time ever voting. Yeah. He says, I'm honest, I've never voted in my life. This is the first time I'm voting. He goes, I've never voted before, America. Shaq said this week on the big podcast, but now I'm doing all these voting campaigns, and you know one thing I never like to do is be a hypocrite. So the 48-year-old NBA legend said he felt weird pushing voting initiatives like his My Starting Five challenge, which helps people register to vote for election 2020 while sitting on the sidelines. So he decided to actually vote this year by absentee ballot. In other words, America, I voted for the first time, and it feels good. His co-hosts were in complete shock, especially after Shaq was virtually sitting next to his buddy, Barack Obama, at Game 1 of the NBA Finals, who obviously didn't get Shaq's vote back in the day. How about that? And I got to tell you something. I don't know. Maybe it's I guess it doesn't happen to some Americans out there. And I know that that's also been a thing that has been brought up a lot in the black community, by the black community, by the way, not me. I've been watching the news, that apparently a lot of the black community does not vote. And it's weird to me because when I turned 18, it's not that I'm Anthony Michael Hall in Breakfast Club, like, hey, what do you need a fake ID so I can vote? No, that's not it. I got my fake ID. I went to clubs. But when I turned 18 and I went to vote for Reagan, I remember I voted for Reagan when I was 18. It was his second tenure because that's when I turned 18 in 84. So it was his second run. And, man, I was excited to go vote. Like, I felt like, wow, okay, now I'm part of the process. Whether I'm going to be happy with the results or what, and obviously the second Reagan term wasn't, Reaganomics and all that stuff wasn't as successful as the first one, but whatever. But it felt good to be part of the process. For the record, he's still my favorite president that I voted for. Anyway, and so it just one of those deals, like, I don't understand people, Americans, not people, Americans, that when you do turn 18, when you have the power to vote, when you have a right to say something, and what you say matters. You may not think it matters, but the problem is if I remember correctly, one of the stories I saw, I want to say it was like 60% of the black community did not vote or something like that. That's an enormous number. Like, that's a lot of people that let's say if it was only 20%, okay? If 20% of people all said, oh, it doesn't matter, that's a lot of people. The problem is when one person says it, they think they're the only ones. But they're part of thousands and maybe millions that say, I'm not going to make a difference. And folks, never think that, man. You can make a difference. You can make a big-time difference. All right, let me tell you a little bit about EJD Construction. I love talking about Eric. Let me tell you, custom home building, additions, home remodeling, whatever you're looking for. Not talking about a handyman. I'm talking, listen, you're in your man cave a lot more now watching sports, right? This weekend, you'll be watching baseball playoffs. You'll be watching the Heat tonight. Tomorrow night, it's Inter. Tomorrow afternoon, late afternoon is Inter. In the evening, you've got the Canes playing. On Sunday, you've got the Dolphins. Maybe you want to better that man cave. Well, call EJD Construction. They can help you reconstruct that man cave so you can actually live like a king in your cave. Maybe you want to redo the kitchen, the front yard, the backyard, expand the master bedroom, whatever it is. Maybe you want to add another room to the house because you've got some people moving in. You got some family members. Call EJD Construction, 305-433-4843. Save it on your cell phone. You're going to save hundreds, maybe thousands. 305-433-4843. Go to the IG website, EJD_construction. You can see a lot of the before and after work, and it will blow you away. Call Eric and tell him Big O sent you. EJDconstruction.com. Hey, it's Big O. For all of your family dental needs, please reach out to Moody's Dental. I've known Eric for a while, a big fan of our show. Call him at 305-821-0231. Whether it's you or your kids that need some dental help, whether it's implants, Invisaligns, they are the experts. Or if you're just looking to fill a cavity or clean your teeth, or maybe even get a crown, you are going to love the professionalism, the family-like atmosphere, and of course, when you talk about being clean, that's what it's all about in today's society. You are going to go to an extremely clean place. Go to moody'sdental.com. Go to the website. Follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Moody's Dental. Tell them that Big O sent you. 305-821-0231 or go to moody'sdental.com.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com. A travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
Hey, it's Big O for all of your CBD, THC, or hookah needs. You got to get on down to VSS West Pines at 12397 Pembroke Road. Yes, they have got legal THC. You've got to check it out. And they've got, of course, when it comes to CBD, flower, tinctures, edibles, for all kinds of reasons, whether it's pain, stress, anxiety, you name it. And don't forget, when you mention my name, you'll get 20% off. Tell the boys out there that I told you to get on down to VSS West Pines, 12397 Pembroke Road, and call them 954-613-3367. Legal THC, CBD, all of your hookah needs. You go to VSS West Pines.
It's a buyer's market at Toyota of Hollywood. Over 1,500 Toyotas on the ground, and truckloads just keep on coming. Now pay up to 50% less. 2020 Camry, not $29,000, $17,775. 2020 Corolla, not $22,000, $13,775. Buy a new 2020 Toyota with 0 down and 0% financing, or we'll make your payments till 2021 at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
All right, welcome back. We told you we're going to switch gears here, talk a little Inter Miami like we do every week with Michelle Kaufman from the Miami Herald. And, of course, you can follow her on Twitter at Kauf Sports and catch her work there at Herald Sports. Michelle, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Very good. That goal on Wednesday. Well, both goals. Actually, both goals, because the Lewis Morgan pass and then the one-timer by Matias. You know, it was nice because it was the present and the future kind of scoring the goals on Wednesday night.
Yeah, absolutely. You have the present and the future for sure. And it was fun because for Matias, I mean, he's really young. He's the same age as our daughters. You know, he's 20. And he's living away from home for the very first time in a foreign country. It's been really difficult for him, and there's a lot of pressure on him to perform because he's a young DP, and they paid a big transfer fee to Estudiantes for him in Argentina, and he got here and has really struggled much of the season. And then for him to be able to get one of his boyhood heroes, Gonzalo Higuaín, to be his teammate, he talked about that after the game, that it was really a big inspiration for him to be able to have this hero of his, someone he's looked up to all of a sudden be his teammate. And he said that he can't even believe it sometimes, that he's at practice and he looks over and he can't even believe that he's on the same team with Higuaín, and that it's really been a great inspiration for him. And so I was happy for him. He seems like a really nice kid. He's been working hard and had not really had the results, and that was a huge, huge relief for him to score. And then from the other perspective, you have Higuaín. There was pressure on him too. He was in his third game, missed 150 goals in Europe, and he hadn't scored in the first 2 games. So, not only did he score, but to score a golazo like that, to make it, the game-winning goal in such a beautiful, dramatic free kick. It was a really nice storyline for that team that was missing 5 starters. So they only had 6 regular starters out there, and they're missing their captain, and they're missing, Gonzalo Pires, and missing Pizarro, missing some very key players. And for them to come together with a patchwork team with a bunch of guys who had not started together before, I was, it was very good. It was very impressive, and everyone. We just had our interviews with Will Trapp and with John McCarthy and with Diego, and everyone is still in a good mood over there.
Yeah, they should. I mean, it was a sweet moment for them in a way, because you had guys out for injury, suspension, international, commitments, all of that, and it was like, man, I did not feel good about that game on Wednesday. I was really worried but they ended up playing a really nice game, and Lewis
Yeah,
Morgan
and that's a team
Lewis,
that had beat. Yeah, that's a team that had beat them 4-1
Yeah.
2 weeks before. So this is not. This was a team that beat them 4-1 2 weeks prior. So for them to come in and with all those players missing, critical players missing, their captain, everything, and to come in and win that game on the road, it was huge. It was a huge, huge win for them.
I'm with you, and I think it was a huge win for Diego Alonso too, because I think the coach also has got to be really frustrated because he really hasn't been able to get a real good feel for his team and find that consistency. And I know it's been a really tough season with the pandemic and everything that's gone on, and the team was never really complete. You added some of your big pieces later on in the season and all of that. So it's been a challenge, but I think the coach is one that needed that success too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I don't know if you've noticed, but the last 2 games he has not worn a suit. So he's changing his vibe or whatever. He was in a track suit for the last home game. That didn't work out so well. But then he was just in shirt with his sleeves rolled up, and I almost took it like almost like a figurative thing. Like, okay, he's rolling up his sleeves. Like, he came in here, fancy, Italian suit and fancy shoes and whatever. And now it's like, it's the nitty-gritty time. It's the time to really try to get something done. You've got all the players now, all the pieces. Of course, now they're missing 5, but you have Higuain, you have Matuidi, and yeah, I think he was extremely frustrated, although he always maintains a very positive attitude. Diego Alonso is always extremely positive, even after the worst losses. He's always, saying positive things and whatever. And but yeah, I just think overall for all of them, I'm sure that was a really nice plane ride home. And you could feel just on the interviews today a definite pep in the step from all these guys. But now, the key is they have not won 2 games in a row all season, so they only have 4 wins. But each of the other 3 wins was followed by a loss. So they are now looking to win back-to-back games for the first time, and they're going to be at home. It's at 5 o'clock, a different time than usual in Houston. A team from the West, so a new team that we haven't really seen. That's not in their usual radar. So it should be interesting. Should be an interesting game.
What wasn't on your radar is that Lewis Morgan is the team MVP.
Oh, that was definitely not on the radar. They brought him a young guy from Scotland, 22-year-old kid. I interviewed him actually way at the beginning. I did an interview with him, and, he was really nice, and he was just like, oh, I'm just over here to try to learn a different type of soccer from what I've been used to my whole life, and blah, blah, blah. I mean, and yeah, he's really been, between his goals and his assists and his pace, his energy, he's very fast. He's all over the field. Most of the goals, most of the goal chances, he's involved. He's involved in almost all of the important offensive plays. He's in there in the middle of it. So he's been a tremendous find for them. I don't know how long they'll be able to keep him, to be honest. I think they got him on the cheap, pretty cheap. And, for him, I'm sure that some teams in Europe and in England will come looking for him at some point. He's a guy to me, seems to have a huge upside.
Well, Paul McDonough, man, nice job by him as a GM finding that guy. Because again, right, if the season ended today and you had to pick a team MVP, it would be Lewis Morgan, correct?
I agree. I think, at the beginning of the season, or when Pizarro joined,
right,
at those first few games, he looked like he was just going to be,
right.
And he is. He's very good. He's very exciting to watch and all that stuff. But if we're talking about the person who's been the most productive,
impactful,
the most productive player has been Lewis Morgan. Not only on his own goals, which he's had 2 braces now, but on top of that, contributing to other people's goals. And not only that, he does all the corner kicks. He does the corner kicks from both sides. He is very, very involved in that team's offense. So absolutely, he's definitely MVP material.
What'd you think of McCarthy? I thought, he started off a little shaky, but then I thought the goalie really finished strong. I thought he played well on Wednesday.
Yeah, we just talked to him. It was our first time interviewing him, and he said that it took him about 15 minutes to feel comfortable, to get his hands on the ball a little bit, to feel comfortable. He felt the first 15 minutes
you could
he
tell.
was shaky.
You could tell.
He said he was shaky the first 15 minutes, and he felt he got better, as the game goes on. And he said one of the things he thinks he brings is that, he's been around the league a long time, even though he hadn't played in 2 years with MLS, but he had been in MLS for, 6 years or so, whatever, with Philly. And, he said that he likes to be vocal in the back. He likes to provide a lot of encouragement to the back line and a lot of instruction and encouragement. And, he said that he has huge shoes to fill because Luis Robles is such a big leader on that team and such a captain, not only on this team, but league-wide. He's viewed as one of the, he's like the president of the players' union and everything. So that's a big voice that's missing. And so John, said that he has a great opportunity now to sort of show what he can do. He's waited a long time. He's worked really hard. And he said, that he felt bad that it was at the expense of someone else being injured, but he's going to try to take advantage of this opportunity. And he feels that he'll be better even tomorrow than he was on Wednesday.
All right. And remember, you can follow Michelle on Twitter at Koff Sports and catch her work at the Miami Herald website or at your doorstep. Support local journalists like I do. I subscribe to the Herald, and they do an excellent job as always. Michelle, the Houston Dynamo are in town tomorrow. I want to thank everybody for a 5 o'clock start. I really like that.
I did too, because we're going to be done in time to watch the UM football game.
I know, it's so awesome. Anyway, so since it's about us, it's all about us. Anyway,
it's all about us.
That's right. That's right. So we got Houston in town. Will our man what's it called now? I'm forgetting his damn name now.
Your coach?
No. Will
Higuain.
Will Higuain be the dynamo that Houston fears tomorrow?
Oh.
Will they pick up the victory? What do they got to do in order to get a victory tomorrow to make it 2 in a row? And more importantly, they're doing a Panther thing. They're backed up against the wall, and they've got to win at the back end of the season to try to sneak into the playoffs like the Panthers used to do every other year. So they've got to kind of do that now too. They've almost got to win most of their games left in order to get into the playoffs.
Yeah, they have 7 games left. They do have they're in 12th place right now, and the top 10 teams get in. The top 6 get a bye, so the top 6 teams get in and don't have to play. The next 4 have like a in order to get into the it's the next round of the playoffs. So their goal right now is to get to number 10. They're at number 12 right now. They have to get to number 10. They have to leap over a couple of teams. But they have the time to do it. There's 7 games left, but they need points. They need wins. Ties are okay, but they need wins. They really don't want to lose. Houston is a team that's it's kind of a middle of – they're in 9th place, I think, in the West. Todd Ramos is their first-year coach, the former U.S. national team player who's done a great job as a U.S. youth national team coach. So he's a very good coach, also of Uruguayan background, by the way. So we've got 2 Uruguayan minds going against each other on the coaching side. I think what Miami has to do, obviously Houston is going to be focused on Higuain, and the thing about having him there is not only the potential of what he can do with the ball, but he draws 2 and 3 defenders almost every time he's near the ball. And what he's very good at is recognizing that immediately and dishing it off to somebody else who's left open, which is how Pellegrini, if that goal that Pellegrini scored, Gonzalo moved out of the way, so that Pellegrini could get that ball. And the other game before, with Lewis Morgan, I mean, he can see when a guy is open, and he's drawing so much attention from the other team. And of course they would, because you've got Gonzalo Higuain is playing against you. So if you're a defender for Houston, they're going to have 2 and 3 guys collapsing on him. And that means that someone else is going to be wide open. And what he's very good at is finding that other forward, that other player, that other winger, and getting them the ball and giving them opportunities. So, I think his presence is a huge asset for this team. And obviously he showed, how he can put the ball in the net. He still needs to do it from the field of play. We're still waiting for that first goal. But, I think they have a good chance. Reyes is still out. He got a fracture, a facial fracture, and he is going to be out for 2 more weeks. But Gonzalez Perez will be back. And then the lineup they had the other night that I thought did a pretty good job, all things considered. They've got one really big game now under their belt. I'm sure that gave them a lot of confidence. Pellegrini said he felt much more confident after getting that game the other night. So, so we'll see. I think they have a chance. It's a winnable, of course every game is winnable, but I think it's a game that they can realistically say that they could win at home. It's not the top team in the West. It's number 9. And it's home, and, I think they're very energized by that win the other night. So we'll see.
Let's hope so. Tomorrow at the Fort Lauderdale Fortress, baby, 5 o'clock. And, of course, don't forget, you can download the Inter Miami app so you can listen to our broadcast if you want to catch it. Please listen. All right.
Yeah, and more important for those who don't, for anyone who doesn't want to watch on Unimas or who wants, some more English commentary, you guys will be providing, because I think tomorrow's main broadcasts are in Spanish, which is great. But you guys provide a great broadcast, too. I mean, your team is top-notch South Florida soccer broadcasting team. So
no doubt. Chris Whittingham, Thomas Rongen, the legend, and the Presidente, yes. Fernando Fiori.
Oh, my God.
Alex Dono and myself with the pre-half and post. Fernando joins us for the pre-half and post too. So it is colorful. It is exciting. It's a lot of fun, man. We added phone calls. We got a 888 number. So
that's fun.
So people will be able to call us now on the post-game show. So 888-441-4623. So you can join us there. Don't call now because nobody's going to answer. It'll just ring and ring and ring and ring. Michelle, as always, you are the best. We will catch you tomorrow, and hopefully the boys will make it 2-0 in the last 2 games.
That'll be interesting. It'll be fun. This final stretch should be interesting.
No doubt. Thank you, Michelle. You're
All
the
right.
best.
Thanks.
All right.
Okay, take care. Bye-bye.
Michelle Kaufman. Follow her on Twitter at Kauf Sports. Always appreciate her taking some time to join us here on the program. Clee Torres, thank you, sir. Sending in a little love on the Super Chat. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Thanks to Michelle. As always, 5 o'clock tomorrow, man. Download the app and tune in and catch us on the broadcast, which is always a beautiful thing. Let me get into a little music news. We always like doing that. Let's see what we got here today. 1940. On this date in 1940, John Lennon, singer, songwriter, guitarist from the Beatles, sold over 20 million singles in the UK, scored more UK and US #1 albums than any other group, the Beatles, and their 67 Sgt. Pepper's UK's biggest selling album ever. In 1990, Lennon's song Imagine was played simultaneously in 130 countries to commemorate what would have been Lennon's 50th birthday. He was shot dead in New York by Mark Chapman on the 8th of December in 1980, and I still remember that day. I still remember the next day getting on the bus, going to school, and there was this girl that was like this enormous Beatles and Lennon fan, and we're kids, okay? Because 1980, I'm 14 years old, so I'm a kid, but obviously I was a rocker then, and so I love the Beatles then, and his Double Fantasy album had just come out, and it was a magnificent album. It had nothing to do with his death, why it exploded. It was going to explode anyway because it had so many great songs in it, in spite of Yoko Ono. Yeah, I'm serious. And that was just a time that I remember there are moments where the world kind of takes a breath because the person kind of affected almost everybody one way or another. Elvis was like that. Bruce Lee was like that. John Lennon was one of those kind of people that it was just what. Now, Bruce Lee, I know it was all male all over the world. Old, young, whatever, everybody just like, oh, my God, Bruce Lee, I don't know. You know, John Lennon was that guy. He was that guy. It affected. I mean, when you've got them interrupting Monday Night Football and Howard Cosell is, announcing it, all that, it just tells you everything that you need to know. And if you've never heard it, you can go back and look at Monday Night Football, Cosell announcing Lennon, and you'll hear the audio. Shot dead on arrival. And all I remember, just the only way that Cosell could do things, that it only sounds because it's Cosell. This was a hell of a day, by the way. 1944 on this date, English bass guitarist, singer-songwriter John Entwistle was also born on this date from The Who, nicknamed The Ox. Unfortunately, we lost John Entwistle. He died in Las Vegas on June 27, 2002, one day before the scheduled first show of The Who's U.S. tour. Now, when you go to a Who concert, there'll be a song where they'll have John playing, but on video. And you get to see him, because John didn't move one bit. But, boy, those fingers were flying. He is one of the great bassists of all time. John Entwistle. Hell of a musician. How about this? 1948 on this date, Jackson Browne was born. I give you John Lennon, I give you John Entwistle, and now I give you Jackson Browne, and they're all J's. John, and Jackson. Jackson Browne, singer-songwriter, born on this date in 1948. Running on Empty was a U.S. number 7 single. All right, there you go.
See, back in the day, you'd have a dime bag.
There you go. Yeah, you would. 1949 on this date. We just talked about this gentleman, but he was born on this date. We were talking about another event that his band was a part of. Rod Temperton. We just were talking about him a couple days ago, the singer-songwriter, record producer. Temperton initially made his mark as the keyboardist and main songwriter for the R&B funk disco band Heatwave. Remember, I told you, go to a Heatwave video, okay? Because when you hear Heatwave, you know it's a few brothers that are singing because you hear the soul and all that. And I get it that there are moments where, like Tom Jones, if you didn't know he was white, yeah, he is. What was the other guy? Never gonna let you down. Never gonna let you. What's the name of that dude that he sounds black too?
Oh, Rick
Ashley.
Thank you.
Right. And so there are moments, right, where you get tripped out. Well, Heatwave.
Play that funky music, white boy.
Yeah, you listen to Heatwave, and you don't figure that there's anybody white on there, right, singing. And there isn't. And you see all the guys singing, and then there's like one white dude on the side. And that's Temperton. It's like, it's so like different, It's so funny. By the way, Temperton was recruited by Quincy Jones to write songs for Michael Jackson, including Thriller, Off the Wall, Rock With You. He died from cancer in 2016. In other words, the dude was pretty talented. In 73, on this date, Terry Balsamo, guitarist with Evanescence, was born on this date. Let's see. Happy birthday to Terry. In 1975, I don't know if you knew this, but Sean Lennon, son of John Lennon, was born. Sean Taro Ono Lennon was born as the only child to John and Yoko. Okay, there you go. But it's not Julian Lennon, who was the child he had after with another woman, and he had some hits, actually. Yeah, that album that he had, the first album that because I know he's actually, I think, done another album or two.
Woman and
Valletta or Valette or whatever. It's a good album, man. It has a couple of good songs. Much Too Late for Goodbye.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. I love the groove in that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, it's great. Great. He did a nice job with that one. Let's see. What else do we have here? Also in music history on this date, 1965, listen to this. Paul McCartney, the Beatles, started a 4-week run at #1 on the U.S. singles charts with the ballad Yesterday, giving the group their 10th U.S. #1 track, and it was not released as a single in the U.K. until 76. Wow, 11 years later? That's crazy, huh? 73. Elvis Presley and Priscilla divorced after 6 years of marriage. Priscilla was awarded property, $725,000 in cash, and $4,200 a month in support, and a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. In 1981, during a North American tour, the Rolling Stones, on this date in 81, played the first of 2 nights at Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum in Los Angeles, California. Guess who the supporting act was for the Stones in 1981?
I know who it was.
Who?
Van Halen, bro.
Nope. Prince.
What?
Prince, dressed up in his controversial bikini briefs and trench coat, and was run off stage after 15 minutes due to the crowd booing and throwing beer cans at him. Singing controversy, I guess, wasn't a strength at that time.
Well,
holy crap, man.
I've heard the story about the Gator Bowl.
Yeah.
Them opening up for the Stones and Van Halen getting some booze.
Right.
Because you're in front of the Stones. There was this thing back in the day that whoever the headlining band was, you dished whoever opened up. That was like a thing, you know?
Yeah.
Which I'm glad we got over that.
Yeah, because I never understood that one myself. I never did that, unless you sucked. Now, if you really sucked, then that's fine.
The band that opened up for the Black Keys, you and me seeing it when it was just the 2 guys on whatever that band was, the best work that they did. Listen, folks, they actually were assisting the roadies take the equipment off the stage, and I'm like, that's the best work these guys have done on stage all night.
Yeah, pretty much. 93 on this date, Nirvana entered the U.S. album charts at #1 with In Utero, their 3rd and final studio album. Kurt Cobain had originally wanted to name the album I Hate Myself and I Want to Die. Okay. It's just, that's, since we know what happened with them, like, we can't have fun with that. You know? Just like, it kind of like goes by the wayside. Like, it just becomes sad. How about this one? This is a crazy-ass story. On this date in 2001, a man wrecked a $300,000 sports car owned by hip-hop star Missy Elliott after losing control of the 550-horsepower vehicle and crashed into a traffic sign and a tree. Joseph Johnson had taken the Lamborghini Diablo away from the garage where it was stored without permission for a late-night spin. He was later sentenced to 3 years in jail and ordered to pay $170,000 for the car and $1,975 for the curb repairs at the site of the accident. I mean, Missy Elliott, wow, you have got to be so pissed that somebody took your $300,000 car. And, man, what is that woman doing with a 550 horsepower car? Missy likes her speed, dude. Wow. If I ever have her on, I got to ask her how fast she ever went with that car. Or did she ever get to drive it? Did this guy wreck it before she got to really enjoy it? Let's see. In 2017, Foo Fighters on this date were #1 on the U.S. album charts with their 9th studio album, Concrete and Gold, and their 2nd album to debut at #1 on the Billboard 200. Dave Grohl has ended a self-imposed 6-month hiatus from music to record the album while recovering from an injury sustained on Sonic Highway World Tour. If you remember, he was the guy that started the whole thing about using a throne while singing and all that, and then Axl ended up getting injured and followed in Dave Grohl's footsteps and had that little thing that he was rolling around in and all that. Dave kind of started something that, okay, I broke my leg, I can still perform. But that just shows you what a cool dude Dave Grohl is. He's just awesome. He's like a guy you just want to hang out with, have a beer, BS with. You know what I'm saying? 1987, on this date, Bruce Springsteen released his 8th studio album, Tunnel of Love. Excellent song, too. In 2003, 172 Limp Bizkit fans sued the band for storming off stage after 17-minute 17-minute of the group's Chicago stop at their summer sanatorium tour, the band had been bombarded with garbage. Well, what, you expect them to just stay on stage and get bombarded? I mean, come on. I got a couple of stories for you. First of all, Greta Van Fleet has a new song out. It's called My Way. They're working on finishing up a new album. Bill, you heard the song. They kind of lost their the Led Zeppelin influence in their music was pretty much abolished in that song.
You could definitely hear the other influences, and these guys are old souls.
Yep.
You can, it's good. It's good stuff.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I liked it. It's I'm not gonna tell you it's as good as some of the highway song or something like that. But I liked it. I enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to the new album because
it's a nice addition to their catalog.
Right.
It is. But it's not. I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
And yeah.
It's,
but it does them justice.
Black Smoke Rising or something. It's,
come on, man.
It's not that, but it's good. If you get a chance, listen to it. It's called My Way. And it comes with a video filmed by them, and so you'll like it. It's actually pretty good. SNL was going to have a country act perform this weekend. They told the country act to get lost. Why? Country music star Morgan Wallen said Wednesday that he had been disinvited from performing on Saturday Night Live this coming weekend after breaking health and safety protocols. Wallen made the announcement after videos posted on social media showed him partying without a mask in Alabama last week. He says, "This is a tough video for me to make, but a necessary one." In a direct-to-camera address posted to Instagram, he says, "I'm in New York City in a hotel room. I was getting ready for SNL this Saturday, and I got a call from the show letting me know I will no longer be able to play, and that's because of COVID protocols, which I understand." While Wallen said he had not tested positive for corona, he called his actions pretty short-sighted and acknowledged it's obviously affected my long-term goals and my dreams. "I respect the show's decision because I know I put them in jeopardy, and I take ownership for it," he added. I like this guy. I don't know anything about his music. Now I want to listen to his music. Wallen, who was named the best new artist at this year's iHeartRadio Country Music Awards, attended a college football game between Alabama and Texas A&M last week. In multiple videos posted on Twitter and TikTok, he was seen in close proximity to maskless fans without wearing a face covering himself. On Tuesday, Wallen revelry was picked up by sites such as Vulture and Deadline, both of which noticed his disregard for the coronavirus guidelines potentially undercut the safety of the Saturday Night Live cast and crew. In his video, Wallen apologized to the show as well as his fans and management team. He says, "I wish I could have made country music and my fans proud this Saturday, but I respect the decision once again," adding that producer Lauren Michael had given him encouragement and suggested there might be an opportunity in the future for Wallen to appear on the sketch comedy series. "That means a lot to me. Thank you for that," he said. I like him. I like people that make mistakes and take accountability for their mistakes. I respect that because I know it's going to happen to all of us. But if you're going to point the finger somewhere else and blame somewhere else for your mistakes, those are the things that drive my ass crazy. And I thought that was actually really, really cool on his part, that he actually understood and realized that he was being an idiot, and that's why you're not on Saturday Night Live, because you were an idiot. Now, speaking of idiots, Tory Lanez, you know the I don't know, let's call him low-life rapper, right? He's the guy that shot Megan Thee Stallion in the foot twice. And Megan had to get out of the car. Remember, we read the story, and I loved her explanation. It was like super intelligent. Not necessarily the way she delivered it, okay? Because, obviously she has a raw way of talking, but she was dead on when she said, "You think I'm going to stay in a car with 4 black people and a gun and there's cops all over the place? I'm getting out of the vehicle, even if I was shot." Which, by the way, knowing our environment, that was very smart of her, actually. Because she got out, and then that's when the cops found her and helped her, actually. So anyway, she was bleeding on the concrete when cops came on the scene. It was just a matter of, was it an accident or not? And based on the charge, the cops don't think it was. So Tory Lanez has been charged in connection with the shooting involved in Megan Thee Stallion just weeks after the singer released an album claiming his innocence. The L.A. County DA's office hit him with the one felony count, each of the assaults with a semi-automatic firearm, personal use of a firearm, and carrying a loaded unregistered firearm in a vehicle. As we reported, the prosecutors have said they were mulling over a charge of felony assault with a firearm against Tory after Megan says she was shot back in July. Remember, Tory had been arrested but only charged with possession of a firearm. But prosecutors are now explicitly pointing the finger at Tory as the man who pulled the trigger, leaving Meg with gruesome foot injury. At least she can still dance because I saw her in SNL last week. Now, I got to tell you something. This guy should be jailed for at least 50 years. Okay? Because I got to say, let me just be honest here. Okay? You're a scumbucket rapper. You make $5 a song. You're a nobody. So you're now going out with one of the hottest artists in pop and R&B because she's a crossover. She's just not rap. I'm sorry, pop and rap. I said R&B, pop and rap. And she's crossed over. She's a worldwide star now. She's making bank, okay? Plus, she's got a body on her that goes for miles. Okay, so you're on a free ride, dude. She might even include you in a song and make you a little money and help your name out. You can only benefit by being next to Megan Thee Stallion, whether you're in bed or on the street. Either way, you're winning big time. And you're going to shoot that? Huh? What? Come on. You deserve to go to jail for 50 years for being, not so much just for shooting her fine ass, but you also deserve to go because you're incredibly stupid. Because you got the free ride of a lifetime, and you're going to ruin it like that. Yes? New York Jets players, coaches sent home after positive COVID-19 test. Whoa. Damn. All right. We knew that Gase was a virus, but we didn't know he attracted viruses too. Jets had a positive COVID-19 test for a player, all sent home. Coaches sent home Friday. A source told Schefter the player who tested positive has been retested, and results should be known at some point Friday. A source told ESPN's Rich Cimini players were in the building on Friday morning when the team became aware, and everyone was sent home immediately as the facility was shut down. Jets players and coaches will conduct their meetings virtually on Friday. The Jets 0-4 are scheduled to host the Cardinals on Sunday. Cards are scheduled to leave for New York on Friday. All plans are the same until someone tells us to change. I love how all these guys, all these teams, like the Patriots, they continue to play even after a test. Cam, okay, no, we'll leave him home. We'll play, but then there goes the DB. And then the DB is hugging the quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs. It's just, we need to make our money. We don't care about the human beings. We don't care if any coaches get killed. We don't care about any of that. We got the TV money, right? We got the game played, right? That's all that matters. That's it, dude.
COVID is something to share,
That's it. That's all it is.
Why keep it to yourself and your team only? Go share it with the rest of the league.
That's it. That's it. What are you doing? Speaking about SNL, did you see Jim Carrey made a cameo as Joe Biden? I did not see it. I missed that one.
You did?
Yeah, I didn't see him. Did he do a good Biden?
Yeah, it was actually pretty good.
I got to go back and check it out. It's there.
Maya Rudolph?
Yes.
Showed up as Kamala.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it was actually it was pretty good.
Okay.
That was it was with Chris Rock. It was the start of the show. You didn't see it?
No, I did not see the whole show.
What happened, bro?
I did not. Well, because
that isn't like you,
man. That was
man.
the show that Megan was on, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I fast forwarded to Megan.
So why didn't you know what, bro?
I fast forwarded from the.
I'm willing to bet.
I just want to see Megan.
That you know what? Actually, that and
can you blame me?
Then Chris Rock's monologue in the front end. Those two things was like the 24-minute mark, I guess, between the two. That was pretty solid start.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, man.
I'll check it out. James says, Big O, the reason why the black community did not vote isn't because it's lack of knowledge. It's because both parties tossed to the side that they damaged us so much. It's a problem to fix us. Well, first of all, dude, at no point I never said it's a lack of knowledge. Okay? I got to take issue with that because when you put words in my mouth, never said that. I just said, if you have the opportunity to vote, vote. Don't ever feel like your vote never counts. I never mentioned about knowledge or anything like that. Never did that at all. Okay? So, not sure where you got that because this happens a lot in this world. People are listening to somebody, but they're not paying attention, and then they say, well, no, this person said that. See, this guy, James Sumler, might go, well, O thinks it's a lack of knowledge. Go back and rewind, my man. Did I ever say that it was a lack of knowledge? Did I ever say any of that? I just said, hey, man, when I turned 18, I was looking forward to voting. I think everybody that has the power to vote should vote.
I remember.
All I said was that I felt like a lot of people that don't vote don't think their vote counts, that it's not a big thing to say. It's, it's not important that I vote. No, it's important that you vote because all the people that say it's not important, you end up becoming thousands and millions. And then,
especially in our state, man, you've seen what's the difference of the Senate race? What's the difference of the governor's race?
Yeah.
We're not even talking a 1%. It's 49.3 to 50.7.
Yeah.
You know what's upsetting, man? People all over the world have died, let alone America. A bunch of Americans have died for us to have that right. But people all over the world would die for that right.
That's right.
And we take it for granted. It is absolutely disgusting.
Some take it for granted.
Yeah. Correct.
Some take it for granted.
You know what? And I do love the spots the NFL has done.
Yeah.
What happens if I only coach 50%?
Oh,
what happens if I only showed up 60?
Yeah.
They're right.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
You know what? At Hialeah, if you remember, they brought in the voters' machines to teach us how to be prepared when we went in to cast our ballot. You remember that?
Yeah. Yep. Pat goes, the NFL COVID stuff is getting real. I expected these much earlier. Good luck finishing the season. Yeah, it's going to be tough, man. But we all knew that. I mean, come on.
Football was going to be the one, yeah.
We all talked about it, how football was going to be the challenge. You know what I mean? I'm actually shocked that it's not happening more in college, actually. I expected a lot more in college.
The irresponsibility in that environment alone.
Because I expect kids to be stupid because that's what kids – because I know. I'm still a kid and I do stupid things. Anyway.
Don't ever change.
Yeah, no. We can't. We can't. We can't. Time to wrap it up on the show, folks. We thank all of you out there, as always, for tuning in on the show. We're back tomorrow. Tomorrow we're on at 10 a.m. We'll be out at Canesware at 15601 Pines Boulevard. No. That's some.
No. It's Davie, brother.
It's 2511 South University Drive. 2511 South University Drive, right off of 595 there in Davie.
A little further north, brother.
Yeah, we're going to be out there 10 to 12. So if you want to come on by, we will have a Saturday show. So normally we don't do 6 shows a week. Well, this week we're doing 6 shows a week. We'll be doing it once a month now. That we'll be doing it on a Saturday over at Canesware. So
I must compliment you on your Van Halen-ness, bro.
Yes, this is.
We look good, man. You know.
Yeah, there you go.
We look good.
I had to throw one more Halen for the week. I was actually listening to a little Halen on the way here. Actually, I've been listening to Halen every time I get in the car. I just been cranking Halen, man. Miss it.
You know what I tried to do?
Miss it.
I did like you. You know how we're the same, bro. So I'm going through the albums and I'm like obscure songs, that
right
don't, most of them don't know the new ones. Okay.
Drop Dead Legs.
And brother, I gotta tell you, man. Dirty movies. Man, there was so many songs that I'm like, okay, just pick one off an album, and I couldn't leave.
Fools.
Dude, I love
Romeo Delight.
Bro, I love cathedrals.
Cathedrals.
I love cathedrals, bro.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. When you're a
One foot out the door.
when you're a hardcore Halen fan,
Sinner swing.
and you know all those other songs, the ones that the average fan doesn't listen to, then if the average fan actually took the time to listen to other songs outside of Panama and Jump and Hot for Teacher,
Does it not turn your stomach a little bit that those are the ones? Because you're not. You're scratching the surface.
Right.
You're not doing anything.
Right, but that's the average fan. But that's because they don't really buy the album and actually listen to the album.
If you love music and you don't know Van Halen, seriously, go check out all their stuff prior to 1984. You'll be blown away, I promise.
There you go. Julius coming in with a little ice cream, man. I like it.
Yeah, man.
Stop it when I'm passing by.
Oh, my.
That's right.
I usually come around just about 11 o'clock. I never stop.
Yeah, I'm usually passing by at just about 11 o'clock.
My favorite, I am partial
And if
to.
you let me, what is that?
If you let me cool you one time,
you'll be my regular stop. Oh, yeah.
I've always been partial to, always
loss of
the
control. That's a nice one.
Always way the line runs up the back of her stocking.
Yes.
I always like those kind of high heat. No. Don't take them off. Don't leave them on.
I love it. Love it. Let's thank our super chatters. Don Parlamento coming in strong. Myron Clee Torres giving us a little love. Appreciate you all out there as always.
We want information. Who are you?
I'm a go-getter.
Who are you?
Dumbass material all the way. Dumbass.
Super chat. Thank you all out there. We are off and running. Got a meeting that I got to go to because telling you something's coming.
Uh-oh. Wait a minute.
Something's coming.
Hold the end.
Something's coming.
You said meeting.
Yes.
Here they come.
No.
The onslaught, brother. You ain't going nowhere, man.
Something's coming. And you'll hear about it a week from today. You'll hear about it.
Oh, once in the show, he's really got to go today.
Yeah, I got to go. I got things to do. Got a lot of things to do. Anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bill and I will be out at Caneswear.
For my crappy cup of coffee, you could join us. For the cup of coffee I don't drink.
Yeah, come on over at Caneswear, 2511 South University Drive. Come on by and say hi. Get some stuff for the Canes game against Clemson. Get some stuff for Inter Miami against the Houston Dynamo. There he goes.
Got Inter stuff.
Julius 305 sends in a super chat. He goes, meeting?
There's another one coming.
All right, thank you all out there. Bless you. Yeah,
we're getting out of here. He's really got to go, guys.
Dougie Fresh, thank you for sending in another super chat. Thank you, Dougie Fresh. Appreciate it.
We want Big O to stay. Who are you? You're not going anywhere.
Thank you. Oh, GP Trap also now sends in. Julius 305, Dougie Fresh, GP Trap, thank you. And GP Trap, I got your DM with the Batman. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you as always. We'll see you guys tomorrow, 10 a.m., 10 to 12. We'll talk about the Heat game tonight, and we'll preview more of the Canes and Inter also tomorrow, and anything else that breaks or COVID spreads. Be good.
Go Heat!
This is the Big O Show.